Hello, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, and I hope that you're gearing up for a wonderful New Year. We had a wonderful Christmas here. We had some sicknesses, some stomach flu and head flu and cold flus, which, as you can tell, I'm still trying to get over my head cold, but I'm getting there. I just wanted to do a quick share about a dream I had last night. Now, I'm not ready to share the details of the dream simply because it was quite disturbing for me, to be honest with you. I did write it down for future reference, and I have been asking God today, what it all means. I don't think it's a coincidence that I've had this dream right before the new year, because I do believe that it holds a message. I think the strange thing about this dream was I had the dream. Um, it disturbed me enough to wake me up in the middle of the night. But when I went back to sleep, I picked right back up on the dream. And the dream continued, which is very, very unusual because it did take me a while to go back to sleep. It wasn't like I was awake for a little bit and and then went back to sleep, because the dream was so disturbing to me that it took me a good 20 minutes or more to go back to sleep. So, a lot of times we do share the details of the dreams when we do have them. And I think that's okay with God. But I think in this instance, He doesn't want the details shown because, you know, God works in symbols and things like that. And He's done that from the beginning of time, but it's really the meaning behind it that makes the difference. It's not the actual, like for instance, um, let's see, Ezekiel and the dry bones. Um, that was symbolism. Um, some of the things like when someone came in and tied, the Apostle Paul's hands up, and that was a symbolism of his bondage that he was going to have. There's so much symbolism that was done to make a point, basically, but it was the meaning behind the symbolism that really counted. And I think that's the thing with this. Sometimes God uses the details in these dreams to give us the message, and sometimes to disturb us, to wake us up, so that we understand that there's some strong words in the meaning of the dream. Now, in this dream, the way I feel that what God is trying to tell us is the old ways of captivating our children and imprisoning them are changing to new ways. The old ways were crude and rude and mean. They um they were kind of like bullies, and I don't know how else to describe it except for that they forcefully captivated our children, or the youngsters. But there's new slyer ways that's going to be coming. I know it's happened. I mean, we've seen it happen over, gosh, the last 20 plus years, of how the ways to captivate our children and to imprison their heart and their soul and their mind, even though they don't think that's what's going on. That's what's going on. It has become slyer and less noticeable, per se. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's less noticeable, but it's going to increase. And the devastation is going to be even more so than what it is now. Um, and also in the dream, it talked about being bold. When we become angry about the sin and what the enemy is doing to the people of this world, and we become angry at the sin, not the sinner. There's a big difference. Then we need to stand up and we need to act. It is time to stop being empathetic and sympathetic. It is time to be bold and to stand up for what is right and for what is wrong. Quit allowing society to dictate what you should and should not believe. Use the Bible and only the Bible for what you should believe. Quit using the sympathy of others and other religions, that especially the ones that are wrong, that we know are wrong, and quit empathizing and sympathizing with them and be bold in the Word of God. I mean, do you think Jesus was an empathizer or a sympathizer for those, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, who were wrong in their beliefs and their practices? No, he quite the contrary. He was bold and spoke the truth. And it's like he said, he didn't come here to make friends. This isn't about you becoming popular and making friends. This is about you telling the truth, because you will be judged on it. So the challenge for the new year, because things are going to get bad, and I'm telling you, our current president has 1 year to do the destruction that he set out to do in the first place. And it is going to come like waves. Mark my words, it is going to come like waves. And your head is going to be reeling by the things that are going to happen in the next year. It is time that we stand up. It is time that we become bold. Bold in the truth of the Word of God. Not what society tells us. Not what society dictates we should feel or do. But by the Word of God and His truth. What Jesus has taught us. Be bold. And get angry at what the enemy is doing to our society. Get angry over it, because when you become angry over it, you no longer sympathize or empathize. You become bold and you stand up for what is right. Keep this in the back of your mind for the new year, and make a vow that you are going to be bold for God this year, in the year 2016. You're going to be strong and you're going to be bold in the truth and the Word of God. And pray to God and ask Him to help you to do these things. Don't be afraid to stand out, to be different than society, because that's what society wants, is for everybody to become Stepford wives. That's what they're looking for. That we all think the same and do the same. That we stop thinking outside the box. That we stop becoming individuals with morals. I mean, they're just slowly erasing our morals away. I remember a time growing up when there was a reverence for God. Whether they were a Christian or not, they still reverenced His authority and His existence. And in today's time, it is complete slander. They slander God at every chance that they can. And I think back to Israel before their fall to the Babylonians, when Jeremiah was warning them and warning them and warning them, and they were so full of themselves, and they didn't believe him, and they didn't listen to him. And yet they fell, and when they fell hard. I mean, people were so hungry they were eating their children. Think about it. They went from a high society full of wealth and full of knowledge, and down to where they were so starving and destitute that people were wasting away in the streets, and some were eating their children just to stay alive. And they didn't believe Jeremiah. It's like America today. If you told everybody that America was going to fall and become destitute tomorrow, they would laugh at you, which they're doing already. That will never happen in America. We're too wealthy. We're too great of a country. Well, that's how Israel was thinking. There's no way this is going to happen to us. So they didn't heed his words. They didn't listen to him. And look at how hard they fell. Don't let that happen in the year 2016. Stand up for your rights. Stand up for what is right. And don't let society dictate to you what you should and should not do. Don't allow society to take away your rights. Don't allow society to make you an empathizer and a sympathizer for those things that are wrong. Be truthful in the Word of God. But be truthful in a loving way. Because Jesus said in that way that they will know that you are my true disciples. You can tell someone the truth and still love them. Just because you tell someone they're wrong doesn't mean you don't love them. It means that you love them. Because if you didn't love them, you'd let them go on their own way. Make a change in 2016. God bless you and have a wonderful new year.